Hello students, welcome to Alan. So the session is about drawing diagrams in biology, a guide. Now we all know that diagrams play a very important and crucial role in understanding any subject, especially biology, right? We cannot even imagine understanding biology without diagrams. Likewise, these diagrams play an important role when you are writing your answers in the examination. You should draw the diagrams properly and neatly when you are writing the answers, right? And you should try and support your answers with the diagrams wherever it is possible. So, we will understand that how you can draw the diagrams in a very good way and secure good marks. Okay? Now, we all know the phrase that practice makes us perfect. When it comes to diagrams, you have to practice them beforehand. When a topic starts and whatever diagrams are there in that topic, start practicing them when you are studying the topic. Okay, so that when it comes to writing the final examination, you don't face any problem, any difficulty. Okay, now there are some general principles that we are going to understand when we have to draw the diagrams. Okay, so the first rule, the first principle is that use a sharpened pencil only when you have to draw the diagram, and preferably use an HB pencil, a dark colored pencil when you are drawing the diagrams, right? Next point is that you should make clear and continuous lines when you are drawing the diagram. Okay, so use clear and continuous lines. You should not break the lines when you are drawing the diagram, right? Suppose you are drawing the flower's pistil. So when you are drawing the pistil of the flower, you should make the lines continuous like this. Okay, you should not add some breaks like this. Okay, this should not be the case. Okay, so you don't have to do this, right? You should draw it continuously so that it comes out clear. Next is, you should not use any form of shading. Okay, shading should be avoided. You don't have to shade the diagram. Next point is, make the diagrams large enough. Okay, so try to cover majority 50 to 60% of the portion of your page when you are drawing the diagrams. Okay, next is that correct the mistakes using a good quality eraser. Okay, so whenever you have to erase something, erase it with a good quality eraser so that the marks are not there and the diagram appears neat and tidy. And always include a title with your diagram. Okay, so whatever diagram you are drawing, suppose here we are drawing this pistil, so you should include the title, pistil of flower. So like that, whatever diagram you will draw, you have to include a point, a title to that. Okay, now there are some do's and don'ts which you have to keep in mind when you're drawing the diagram. Okay, so first we'll see some do's which you have to do. Now, whenever you're drawing the diagram, cover 40 to 60% of the area. So your diagram should cover nearly 40 to 60% of the sheet. Okay. Next is that whenever you're drawing the diagram, label all the relevant structures of your diagram. Okay, and you should label them with the straight arrows. Okay, so labeling should be done neatly with the help of straight arrows. Some more do's are that you should use a ruler for label lines as well as for your scale bars. Now at times you have to draw the bars, okay, the scales, the bars, so use proper ruler for drawing them. Also for the label lines also use the rulers so that the lines are straight, they are not dwindling here and there. Okay, next is label line should start exactly at that structure which you are trying to label, right? So suppose if I'm trying to label the ovary, so my line should start here, right, at the ovary. It should not be the case that I'm drawing it here and then I'm labeling this ovary, or I'm drawing here and I'm labeling it ovary. No, it should start exactly at the point where we have to do the labeling. Okay, so label line should start exactly at that structure which you are labeling. Next point is that you should arrange the label lines neatly, right? So the arrangement of the label line should be neat. Okay, these are some of the do's that you have to keep in the mind when you're drawing the diagrams. Now there are some don'ts which you don't have to do. So you should remember these don'ts also, okay? Try not to make the mistakes, okay? So here the first point is that you should not overwrite. Don't overwrite in your labelings, okay? Whenever you are labeling, try you are labeling it properly. Don't overwrite the things. Next is that make sure your label lines are not crossing each other, okay? So again, suppose I am labeling the parts here. So if I am labeling the ovary here, and suppose I have labeled the style here, and then I have labeled the stigma like this. No, that's wrong. This should not be done. Okay, you should not cross the label lines. Make sure that label lines don't cross each other. And the final point that you have to keep in mind, which you don't have to do, is don't use colorful pens or pencils. Simply use your HB pencil, and with that pencil only you will draw the diagram, you will draw the label lines, and you will label the parts. Okay, so these are some do's and don'ts that you have to keep in mind when we are drawing diagrams in biology. And now let us learn to draw some of the diagrams of your class. First, we will learn to draw the human digestive system. Human digestive system starts with the alimentary canal. It consists of the alimentary canal along with the associated organs, and it begins with the mouth. So we are going to draw the mouth part first. So like this, we have to draw the human figure. Okay. Like this, you will draw on both the sides the human figure. And now we are going to start with the mouth. So first we will draw this part. Like this, you have to draw the buccal cavity, and now it leads into the esophagus. So we'll draw the food pipe here. Now the food pipe passes through the diaphragm, the dome shaped structure. So we're going to draw the dome shaped structure. Like this, we'll draw the stomach. And the liver here. The gallbladder here. And the pancreas here. Now we'll draw the intestine. So first we'll draw with the large intestine here. Like this, you have to draw the large intestine. Okay, so complete it like this. And now we are going to draw with the with here we are going to start with the small intestine. Now small intestine is a highly coiled structure, 7.5 meter long and present in a highly coiled form. So we are going to draw it like this only. Okay, so like this we'll draw the small intestine. Now this completes with the digestive system, and now we are going to label it. So first we'll start with the mouth. So this we will label as mouth here, the buccal cavity. Then the tongue part here. And then we'll label the esophagus, the food pipe. Now we will label the diaphragm. Then the liver. The gallbladder. That stores bile. The bile duct. The stomach. Pancreas. Now we are going to label the small intestine. So this part and this entire coiled part is the small intestine. So label it like this. And now the large intestine. In which this segment represents colon. And then the anus part. And the vestigial organ appendix. So like this we have to label all the parts, and now we are going to write the name of the diagram here, the human alimentary canal. So we will write human alimentary canal at the bottom, and now we will underline it. Okay. Now we will learn to draw the human heart. So the human heart is the size of the fist, and it is located between the lungs in the thoracic cavity, and it is 4-chambered in humans with 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. So first we are going to start with the ventricle parts. So like this we have to draw the bottom section. In between we are going to draw that septa which divides the ventricles, and now we'll continue it like this, and from here only we have to draw this structure like this. Okay, similarly we are going to continue on the other side, the right ventricle, and then again we have to draw this part here and continuing like this. Okay, now here the septum, from here we are going to continue, and we will make an arch like this. Parallel to it we are going to make another arch like this. Okay, so we have made 2 arch here, and then we will make one vessel like this that represents the aorta, and here we are going to make another vessel like this. Okay, so till here it's done. Now we will just fold it a bit here, and this will be another vessel like this. and it will continue like this. Okay, so this is how we are going to make it. Here we will erase this one, okay, because this is iota here, so this is how we will draw. And now here we are going to draw this another vessel here that is representing the pulmonary veins. Here draw this section at these places. Okay, so that completes with the auricles and the ventricles, and now we are going to complete this part here. So here, extend it at the bottom, touch it at the one place here and at another place like this. Okay, just a bit space should be there. Similarly, we'll continue a line here. Okay, and like this it will be done. Now make some lines from here touching the wall from both the sides. Here also you have to make the lines, and this completes the heart diagram. Okay, and now we're going to start with the labeling part. So we're going to start with the ventricles first. So this part is the left ventricle and this is the right ventricle. Yes, and this center part is the septum here. So label it as the septum. Now we're going to mark with the vessels. Before that, label the left atrium and the right atrium. So this is the right atrium. Okay, now we'll label the pulmonary veins. So these two vessels are the pulmonary veins, which will bring the blood from the lungs, and these are the pulmonary arteries, which will take the blood to the lungs. Right, this completes with this part. Now we are going to label the vena cava. So here first we will label aorta. This part is the aorta here. Now here this is the vena cava, which is bringing the blood from the lower body, and this vena cava is bringing the blood from the upper body. Okay, so here you have to label the vena cava, the superior vena cava, and you can also write from upper body. And the inferior vena cava, which brings the blood from lower body. So like this we will complete the labeling, and this is how we are going to draw the human heart. Now at the bottom we are going to mention the name of the figure. It is the human heart, and you can underline it like this. Okay, so with that we complete with the human heart. Now we are going to learn how to draw the structure of a flower. Structure of a flower is important from exam point of view. Okay, so we are going to understand how to draw it in an easy way, and we will start with drawing this stalk of the flower. Okay, over that we are going to draw the pistil, that is the female reproductive part of the flower. Inside the pistil we will draw the ovule, like this. Okay. Like this you are going to draw the ovule, and now we are going to draw the anthers and the filaments representing the stamens. Okay, so like this we are going to draw the filament and the anther. On both the side we will be drawing them. One more we are going to draw. Okay, and now we will draw the petals. So like this you will draw the petals surrounding the flower. Okay, and now we are going to draw the outer green structure, that is the sepals. Okay, and that is how the structure of the flower will be drawing. And now we are going to start with the labeling part. So we are going to label the stalk first, that is the pedicel. Now we will label the green leaf like structure, the sepal. Then we will label this ovule. Now the swollen part, that is the ovary. Then the stalk of the pistil, that is the style, and the upper part, the stigma. Together we will label it as pistil. So pistil has three parts: the ovary, the style, and the stigma. And now we will label the filament, and the anther, and together we will label it as stamen, the male reproductive part. And now we will label the petal. So stamens are the male reproductive part of the flower and pistils are the female reproductive part of the flower, whereas sepals and petals are the accessory parts of the flower. And now we will label the diagram as longitudinal section of the flower. So you will write the name of the diagram and you can underline it. Okay, so that is how we will draw the structure of the flower. So now we will learn how to draw the human female reproductive system from the chapter How Do Organisms Reproduce. So for that we will start with the dome shaped structure like this, and then we will draw the similarly here also we'll do the same. Okay, now we'll complete this pear shaped structure and then just narrow it like this. Okay, now draw this wavy lines on the inside like this, and then join it like this. Okay, now we'll draw the inner layers like this. And similarly here also. Okay, now we are going to draw the ovaries. So like this we'll complete the Okay, so this completes with the drawing, and now we are going to label the parts. So we'll start with this oviduct or fallopian tube. Then this part we will label as ovary, the uterus, then cervix, and this part is vagina. Okay, so like this we are going to draw the diagram, and now we are going to name it. That is the human female reproductive system, and then you can just underline it. Okay, so now we will practice drawing the human male reproductive system. For that we are going to start with the urinary bladder here. So we are going to draw this bladder, the inner lobe wall here. Okay, and then the ducts from here. So this we are going to make like this, and then from here we will like this, and we will first complete this one here. It will go here on the downside, and then we will draw the part like this. Okay, and like this. Okay, now from here we will take it, and now from here we will draw the scrotum part like this, and we can just complete. Okay, right, now we have to draw the testes part. Just draw the scrotum like this, and then the testes part you have to draw like this. Then the vas deferens. So from here we will draw the ureter now, and the vas deferens will loop over it. Okay, so we have to just draw it till here, and then just make a loop, and now we can just connect it here like this, and then we are going to draw the glands. So here this one, the prostate, and these the seminal vesicles, and like that we complete the diagram. So now we'll do the labeling part. This we will label as ureter. Then the urinary bladder. Then we will label this gland as the prostate gland. Seminal vesicle. Then this is the vas deferens. The penis part, the urethra, scrotum, the pouch in which the testes are located, and the testes here. Okay, so this completes with the labeling as well. Now we will write the name, that is the human male reproductive system. Okay, and then we can just underline it. So now we will understand how to draw the diagram, that is germination of the pollen grain. So we're going to start with drawing the female reproductive structure, that is the pistil or the carpel, stigma, the style, and the swollen part, that is the ovary. Right? Now we are going to draw the ovule. So we will draw a circle like this. Then we'll make it a half like this. And then we'll just rotate it. And cover it like this. Okay. Now inside this we will draw the embryo sac, and like this we will draw it. Here we'll draw that line. Okay, so this completes with the external structure. Now we'll draw the cells inside. Okay, so this completes with the ovule part. Now we have to draw the pollen grains and the germination part will show. So like this, we'll draw one pollen grain, another we will draw here, and then we will make the part like this, and now the germination we can show here. Like this. Okay, so this is the pollen tube. We can just broaden it up a bit. Okay, and now we'll show the male germ cell here. And we'll do the labeling part. So this is the pollen grain. This part is stigma on which the pollen grain
rests, right? So this part will label stigma. Then this is the male germ cell here, which will divide to give rise to the two male gametes, right? So this is the male germ cell. Then this is the pollen tube, which is carrying these gametes. The swollen part, that is the ovary, and then the female gamete or the female germ cell. So like this, we are going to label these parts, and now we will write the germination of pollen on germination of pollen on stigma. Okay. So now students, we are going to understand how to draw the diagram of human brain in an easy way. For that, we are going to start with drawing a dome here or a semicircle here. And then in the center, we will draw this like this. You have to draw. Okay. Then we draw the structure like this. And then again, just cover it like this. And then just take it along. Like this, you have to draw. Now we're going to draw these parts. From here, we'll continue. Like this. And then just complete it here. Okay. Now from here, we're going to draw these of the cerebellum, the tree-like structures. And then we'll just cover it up like this. And which part is this? Yes, that's the cerebellum. And then we'll just cover it entirely like this, and we can also draw these linings here. Okay. Then now we'll continue this part here. And just join it here. Similarly, here also we'll join it. Okay. Margins like this. Okay. So like this, you're going to draw it entirely on the inner side. So just complete it like this here. Okay. Now similarly, we are going to make these margins over here on the inside also, like this. And then from here, we're going to make the folds like this. And just leave it like this here. Okay. Now from this side we'll draw one line which will be joining like this. Okay. Likewise from here we will draw another line which will join like this. From here we'll draw another line joining like this. Then we can draw like this. From here also. And then, okay, then from here you can just draw these lines. And then just join it from here. Likewise from here also we'll draw it. Okay, and then just extend it like this here in the center. Draw this here like this. Just extend it here, here and like this. Okay, so if you practice it, you'll be able to draw it properly. Now we'll start drawing the outer margin, that is the layers that cover the entire brain. The meninges. Okay, so like that we will make another one here, and then we are going to start with the next one from here. So like this we will cover it entirely from here. Right, now close it at this end, and from here we're just going to extend it a bit, and then we'll cover it again. Now on the inner side we can just complete it like this, and this completes with the brain part. Okay, so now let's label the parts of the human brain, and we have to do the labeling according to the NCERT. So we are going to start with the first part, that is forebrain. Okay, then this part we will label as cerebrum. This is the cranium or skull. This part we will label the midbrain, the spinal cord, Then we will label the parts of the hindbrain, that is the pons, medulla and cerebellum. Okay, so first we will label this pons, then medulla and cerebellum. Together we will write it as hindbrain here. And now we will label the gland, that is the pituitary gland, and the hypothalamus. Okay, so like that we are going to label all the parts, and now we will write the name, that is the human brain, and then we can just underline. Okay, so let's practice how to draw the structure of neuron, right? So another important diagram from the chapter control and coordination is the structure of neuron, which are the, you can say, structural and functional units of the nervous system. So we are going to start with the drawing like this. We'll draw the extensions of the cell body. Like this, you have to draw the dendrites first, and then we'll draw the long axon part, and then the terminals. Like this, and then we'll draw the nucleus here, and then the myelin sheath. We can draw like this. Like this. Okay, so this is how you can draw the structure of neuron, and now we'll label the parts. So we're going to start with the dendrites, the nucleus, the cell body, this part as axon, and the nerve endings. Okay, so this is how we are going to draw the diagram of the neuron, the structure of neuron, and then you can just write it at the bottom. Okay, so hope you have understood how to draw this.
Now we are going to draw the diagram of human respiratory system. So let's start with the nose. You need to draw the face like this. Now let's make the nasal cavity that is present in the nose, and then the buccal cavity present in the mouth like this. Now let's make the pharynx. This is the pharynx. Now the next part is the larynx.
This is representing the larynx. Now next, trachea, windpipe. And then this trachea divides into bronchi that enters into our lungs. Let's make the lungs. Right lung, then the now the left lung. Like this. Let's make the covering. Now the bronchia divides into repetitive branches like this. Then further branching. The narrow branches are known as bronchioles, and at the end, sac-like structures known as alveolar sacs. Now let's make the diaphragm below the lungs. C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Now let's make the alveoli in enlarged view. Alveolar sac. So this is the diagram given in NCERT. Now let's label the different parts. This is the nasal passage. Oral cavity. Or the mouth cavity as given in NCERT. Then the next part, pharynx, common passage for both food and air. Now the next one is the larynx, voice box. Then windpipe, trachea. Then it divides into bronchi that enter into our lungs. This is the left lung, and this is the right lung. Narrow branches are known as bronchioles. Then the sac-like structure alveolar sac, this dome shaped structure is diaphragm, respiratory bronchiole, alveolar sac, and the single structure is alveolus and the plural term is alveoli. So this is the diagram of human respiratory system. Given in NCERT. It's not necessary to form the alveoli separately. We need to draw according to the demand of the question. Now let's draw the diagram of human excretory system. Let's draw the kidneys. Right kidney and the left kidney. Right kidney is at slightly lower level in comparison to left kidney due to the presence of liver. Now let's make the ureter. Tube-like structure. It will open into the urinary bladder. Let's make the urinary bladder sac-like structure like this. And then the urethra. Okay. Now let's form the blood supply. Here I am making the vena cava that will collect the filtered deoxygenated blood from both the kidneys through renal vein. Here's the renal vein. Now let's make the aorta that will bring oxygenated blood towards the kidney. And now the renal artery. Branches. This is how you need to draw the diagram. Now let's label the different parts of this diagram according to NCERT. So this is the left kidney. This is left renal artery. This is left renal vein. Here you can see the aorta. This is left ureter. This is the vena cava, urinary bladder, urethra. So this is the diagram of human excretory system given in NCERT. Now let's draw the diagram of nephron. Let's start with the cup-shaped structure, Bowman's capsule. Like this. Now let's make the tubular coiled part of nephron. And then the U-shaped loop. Like this. And then again the coiled tubular part. It will open into the collecting duct. Now let's draw the glomerulus. It is the tuft of capillaries present in the Bowman's capsule. So this tuft of capillary is the Bowman's capsule. Now let's make the blood capillaries around the tubule. So this is how you can make the branches. Capillaries around the tubular part. Like this. Then the branch of renal vein. Now let's label the different parts as given in NCERT. This is the Bowman's capsule. Glomerulus. Then tubular part of nephron. collecting duct, branch of renal artery, this is the branch of renal vein. Let's see the flow of blood like this. And the flow of filtrate. So this is the diagram as given in NCERT. Thank you.